Yes, Internet, I'm back. Worst host ever, but I brought the best car today. I've got a ton of history with this car and a ton of history with our guest too. Our boy, Gary Castillo. I'm not gonna high five you, I'm gonna cheers. Gary Castillo from Designcraft. How are you, sir?
This is a test of the emergency advertisement system.
Gymkhana 10, it's out today. Today you can watch it on Amazon Prime. You can also binge all of the Gymkhana files. Check it out, 4 o'clock today, Pacific Standard Time. I think it's standard. Look it up, watch it, and here's a little glimpse of what you're gonna be getting. And if you don't have Prime, they offer a trial. You can watch it and then delete the trial, but I didn't tell you that.
I'm good. You have a ton of history. You were a fabricator, you were a builder, you were a tech, and then you started in magazines, and you and I were frenemies on the other side of the fence, you know?
I remember that.
Turbo Import Tuner versus Super Street, and then you went on to do Honda drag racing, time attack, rally cars, road racing. I mean, you've done a lot, but you were here when this car did something really crazy. So what did this car do?
This car holds a special moment for me. We actually went to Germany with this car and it went over 200 miles an hour on the Autobahn.
お次はいよいよオープンロード以下の有名なアウトバーンエアがピットになる少ない時間帯を狙って大二郎は本線合流目標速度に達成
213 miles an hour to be precise, and then it was faster than a certain yellow Porsche owned by Alois Roof, I believe, the Yellowbird, correct?
Exactly.
So it went to the Autobahn to go faster than that car.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
That's nuts. And back in the day, Japanese cars didn't go faster than German cars. So this was like a big deal for all the tuner fans and us. And this is in nearly 20 years ago, in July of 99?
19 years ago.
Yeah, 19 years ago, like
years
mid-July of 99. You were one of the invited journalists to go with the car, correct? So, and then back in the day, there was a company called Sanishobo Publishing, and they owned the sticker that everybody knows, Option 2 magazine, but they also used to do the VHS tapes, video option, and they brought the video option crew down, correct?
Watched them all.
Yep, and you were in it, actually. You and Fly and a few other guys, and you guys were there.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Let's get busy with this car, though. The thing that I love about this car, this is a time capsule. We're going to start with the outside first. I just want to talk about, like, in terms of JDM tuner cars, really quick, Gary, I also want to mention Japanese tuner cars. They would go to Tokyo Auto Salon, big time display, $100,000 builds. And then the next winter, we'd go to Tokyo Auto Salon, we'd visit people in the shops, and the cars would be parked outside in the snow, rusting away. Tokyo Auto Salon, Carpet Queen one year, parked outside in a field the other year. This car, so much history, so much provenance, and it's amazing to see it. It's like, it is a time capsule back to 1999. I mean, just everything.
It's literally all the original stickers and everything from when it actually ran on the Autobahn.
Oh, so much 90s love for the vinyl here and everything. Let's start with what's on the exterior here. Like, what is this nutty aero kit? I mean,
it's actually a Blitz body kit, but one thing about this particular body kit is if you went underneath it, it's almost a full belly pan and everything, and it has been wind tunnel tested and everything.
Blitz marketed this as one of their Aerospeed R kits,
exactly.
But it's even more than that. This is like the Ne Plus Ultra of a Blitz. So this has got a flat bottom. This is before tuning kits were doing flat bottoms.
It's flat bottom, but the extension from the bumper all the way to the back is the one thing that, like, if you bought any kind of body kit, it would literally end usually right at the lip.
Completely.
But they completed most of it. I mean, I can't say all of it, but it goes pretty far back. And then plus the way that the fender flares and everything were, it was purposely designed for aero.
Completely. I got to say, I don't know if this is an aero thing or a 90s thing, but the hella suck on the wheels. I'm not going to give you guys flack for that, but I still think that's super cool. Original Z1 Techno Speeds, right? So those are the 1810s? I want to say 1810 square?
1810 all the way around. The Dunlops aren't the ones that they actually run their speed record with, but it did run on Dunlops.
Blitz has a pretty cool partnership with Dunlop that extends back many years. All of their D1 Grand Prix cars run Dunlops and everything. All of their high-speed cars, all of the time attack cars that they built all run on Dunlop, like a Durez Reza
hand in hand.
Japan partnership too.
Exactly, just like the shocks, you know, the sash.
They run with the Sachs shocks too. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So the Aero kit, while it's the Aero Speed kit, the other thing that I want to point out is if you look at this car, nowadays you see R35s, which are aerodynamic bricks, running well over 200 in the standing mile and everything.
Yeah,
But they're much more aerodynamic than an R34.
Oh, for sure.
This is a true brick.
Yeah, this is literally a moving parachute.
It's a serious aerodynamic wall. Like to
Oh,
get
it
this
is,
thing
it
up to
is.
213 miles an hour is amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to say the curb weight on this was something in the neighborhood of 3,400
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah.
It was like
It
upper
was-
3390s or
Yeah,
something like that.
And
Yeah.
this is 100% a street car. Like the doors aren't gutted, you know, the factory interior is in it, the fenders and everything else. Yeah, for sure.
So is this a Blitz hood?
Actually, I don't know what the hood is.
I was going to say, I
Yeah.
thought the Aero Speed kit didn't include the hood, so I'm not familiar, but I love the vents, the way the vents out
Yeah.
there. And the OG, oh my God, the OG sticker is still on this thing,
Yeah.
the Autobahn project. And then making our way, let's get around to the back here, the side skirts and everything.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say, like, if you look at 34 versus 33 versus 32, you know way more than I do, but would you say that the 32 is obviously much more aerodynamic? Right, because it was a smaller frontal
I would
profile.
say R32 is like, if you're gonna go racing, that's the one you want.
Back in the day, it was the
Yeah,
drag
yeah.
car because it was the
Exactly.
lightest
It's the
one.
lightest one and
Yeah.
everything.
I love like no aero mirrors. It's factory
Yeah.
mirrors, right?
Yeah.
Oh. And then even the wing is not like super crazy
No,
aero.
not at all.
But I love the way back in the day it is still a dual plane wing. So and that's a Blitz piece as well, correct? That's part of the Aerospeed
Yeah.
kit, you know. And no fancy diffuser in the back either, right?
No. The rear bumper goes down pretty far, but there's no factory diffuser.
The windshield wiper isn't even aero aligned. It's like or removed, you know. So
It's a street car.
like this is
Yeah.
full blown street car with the rear. They're not even a rear wiper delete or anything.
No,
you know?
not at all.
So
like,
oh my
yeah,
God.
it's like I said, I hate repeating it, but it's true. It's 100% a street car.
And this was the reason that Blitz did this back in the day to demonstrate the power of the parts that they have on the street car.
Exactly. It was parts that were available that you can buy and everything. So that was the best part.
Let's get down with the inside here because I want to talk about
Yeah,
like
for
how
sure.
much this is truly a street car.
Other than the roll cage and the fire suppression and the seat and the harnesses.
So that's for safety.
Yeah, like some of the stuff was added last minute. Like this right here was when the car ran at Silver State. So the cage is just, I don't know exactly who made the cage from Japan, but it's a Japanese cage. But at the same time, when it ran Silver State, we had to add the fire suppression.
Requirement
I'm
for
sorry,
that,
not we,
yep.
but they had to add the fire suppression. They had to add the door bars. There was a whole bunch of stuff that actually had to get added in order for them to run at Silver State Classic. A cool fun fact on this whole car, the fact that it went 180 miles an hour and it has full interior and everything. The car that actually won the unlimited class car was actually a NASCAR, and his speed was 196 miles an hour. I mean, that was not an original car.
Yep.
You ask them for the VIN number, it doesn't exist. This thing has a VIN number.
Here, I'm gonna go around. You show me like what's in the. You show me from the driver's seat what's in
okay,
here,
yeah, for sure.
and I'm gonna go around to this side because I want to see like everything that this like on the interior here. Again, like only one seat, obviously the Blitz seat. So I believe that was a Brid unit, maybe. Is it? Oh no, Koenig. That's right. They used to get down with Koenig.
yeah.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. Oh my God,
crazy.
so much history. And then the Simpson harnesses.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's crazy is how I keep saying it's a street car. I mean, even down to the factory ECU, it's a ROM-tuned car. There's no, these days everybody's plugging in and
Standalone and everything,
standalone
yep.
or flash ROM ECU, like that's up to date. Where this car's different. You literally gotta take the chip out and do what you gotta do and then plug it back in. So
I mean,
from
we're
the boost
talking about,
controller to the speed meter to you name it.
Door
everything on there is
panels,
bolt-on. Yeah.
power windows, like
Feel the
everything
door.
is still
Like,
there. I mean,
it's a factory
heavy
door.
factory
Yeah.
door. The factory door sills,
Yeah.
the back seats are still in this.
Yeah.
Like, Di could have gone 213 with like 2 more passengers, 3 more passengers. And I love like the OG meters. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah. I actually still use that boost controller.
I know you were just saying that, right? The DBCC.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
that's so cool.
This boost controller, or this boost gauge might be missing by the time this shoot's over. Like,
Gary's got his OG
oh yeah,
mitts all
man,
over
does,
it.
I guarantee I could sell that on eBay for a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, show me the engine. Show me the engine.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get
for
down
sure.
on the engine.
It's not as fancy as what you see.
No,
these
not even
days.
what you see today
Yeah.
on like even a show car today. But what's nuts is, keep in mind,
Factory hood prop.
19 years ago, factory hood prop.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The strut brace was like the stuff of legend back
Yeah.
then, you know, and like now you see that
Oh
everywhere,
man.
you know.
Yeah, but that's an original, so eBay, I'll have it on there soon.
Single turbo conversion, right?
Yeah, it's a K5 850R turbo.
Now, Blitz always got down with KKK turbos.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
it's a
So, yep.
triple K turbo.
Yep.
For today's standards, this turbo is antique. For what it did back then, you just kind of have to respect that.
And now, when you say today's standards, what do you mean? Like in terms of the ceramic coatings, in terms of
with ball bearing,
impeller
billet,
design?
billet titanium, like turbine wheels, and then billet compressor wheels. Like everything's changed so much that for it to do it on this turbo it says a lot. Like,
Yeah, completely.
It's crazy.
The other thing I want to talk about is the engine.
Yeah.
It's not a crazy RB30, but it's only a 2.75 stroker.
Yeah, it's a 2.75, so it's a stroked engine. Abe-chan, who worked for Blitz at the time, he built the whole engine and everything. It looks like a factory engine. It has a few internal upgrades and has a lot of bolt-on stuff on it, but that's about it. It's stock transmission in it,
You were
Like,
saying that.
yeah.
That's nuts. Like
Yeah,
back
it's
in the
not
day, like
regeared or
everybody
anything.
discovered the Hollinger. I remember like
Yeah.
all the drag
Yeah.
racers were using Yokomaku at Velside. All the guys were using the Hollinger
Yeah.
transmission.
Yeah.
And I thought this thing had the Hollinger sequential in it. You know,
No,
and it was
it's a factory get track, and it literally is the factory 6-speed. I mean, it has a triple clutch in it. That's about it. Just,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Yep,
a
yep,
Blitz
yep.
triple clutch, and
You were also talking about like how it kept that transmission as opposed to going with the Hollinger because they wanted to prove how much of a street car it really was. you know?
that's exactly
It's
what
like-
it was.
Because Blitz didn't make a transmission, so why
No.
do it? But I also
Yeah.
want to talk about the get rag for a moment. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Skyline used it back in the day, and the Supra used it on the top line JZ
Yeah.
2JZ80. It's such a bulletproof transmission to this day, right? That's
Look
a really
how much
strong.
they go for used.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
that'll tell you right there.
I'm trying to do a 2J into something, and they're going to go, what are you using, the Eisenbachs or the Get Rag? And I'm like, I want to use the Get Rag. And they're like, whatever car you're going to get, the transmission will cost as much as the car that you want to put it in. And I'm like, oh.
Look up the prices.
so
They're not
sad.
cheap, but
Yeah.
they're that bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like, and you're buying a used part. It's crazy.
So what's the horsepower on this one?
850.
850? Yeah, I want to say 850 or 890. I want to say, I think the number I read was 890, but is it?
At 26 pounds of boost, I think it was 850, but they ran more
I think
on
they
it,
ran
and
34
never-
at
Yeah.
890 was what
Yeah.
was the official number that sort of came out after it, but they
Yeah.
normally ran it at 26
Yeah,
at 850.
26,
yeah.
and then I know
Conservative.
they ran it as high as 34. So
Yo, can we pull a wheel off this thing and put it up on the lift?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, now we're talking. Gary, what are we looking at here?
What I was telling you about earlier was the bumper.
Yes, but as we got underneath it,
Yeah.
we discovered that it's not the same way it was, but we are seeing some pretty crazy things. So this is probably more driveway action.
That looks
than,
like a trailer accident.
Yeah,
right
that looks
there.
like right.
Yeah.
Okay. Normally, when you have a front arrow piece, it goes to about like there.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're lucky if it goes about that far.
And this one
Yeah.
extends back even farther.
Yeah.
But then
it also-
it used to go even
Oh,
more
yeah, yeah.
so still.
It had the factory panels and everything
Yeah.
that actually went farther back, but they are removed now. But even like with everything, like you could tell it was just made for it. It has factory wheel diffusers like
Completely.
right here, and it's just, it was literally made for going fast.
Yep.
You know, short of a splitter, at the time, this was all you needed to go
Completely.
213 miles an hour.
I feel like this was like a late 90s version of what a splitter would be, essentially.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So, and then it takes you down into the under tray. And
Yeah.
like also flat bottom streetcar in 99 is pretty wild, right?
Yeah, yeah,
No?
yeah, and it was originally flat bottom. It's just obviously now that it's just showcase.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier
For
to jack
service,
it up.
like
And
the car code guys,
Put it
when
on a
they're
lift.
probably servicing it, they probably took that off.
so it's
Stock
yeah.
R34 Brembos,
Yeah,
which
it's-
these are kind of semi-exotic for 99. I remember
Back then,
the gold
you wanted
Brembo
those on there.
calipers, yeah, right?
But they're factory Brembos with some iBox springs and some custom-made sash shocks for Blitz.
Oh.
So that's kind of crazy because that's a really crazy company that does some nuts motorsports.
Yep,
so
I love that top hat there.
yeah, it still runs the factory Hikis in the back too. So it's 100% the car that you'd buy from a dealership in Japan.
So I mean, every tuner usually does
They
the
usually
hike
get
is
rid of
delete,
that.
right?
Yeah, they
And-
usually get rid of that.
And why is that? Because you have more of a stable handling, static
I
handling?
think it's more of the driver wanted control of what's going to happen with the car than a computer controlling what's going to happen with the rear of the car. So, I mean, that's literally what it is. It even has this, you can still, I mean, this is maybe one of the few aftermarket things you'll see under the car, which is a secondary fuel line. You can see where the original light meter was from when they actually, registered the speed.
Yep.
And a big ass 100mm exhaust.
No spec exhaust. And this one was baffled, right?
It was originally baffled,
Yep.
yeah, and then just like I said, whenever they would take it out, they would just pull the baffle out, and that's it. This thing never needed a trailer. Like
That was literally the only mod when they went for top speed runs.
that and gas, that's it. Like
Look
other
at that
than
100mm. I mean, that's so massive, though.
well, you got to think it was so massive back then.
For then,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Now
completely,
this is
completely.
like
I know.
industry standard.
Completely.
And then a few other things that were just kind of different on it was for it to run Silver State Classic, these subframe connectors actually had to be on there, which is
Oh, so
like-
that's a modified piece.
yeah. So the cage from Japan originally bolted to right there. And then right to here. The governing body of Silver State Classic said, hey, you guys need to add these. And
We saw the door bars earlier, but why would you need the subframe connector? What
To me,
purpose does that serve?
it just makes the chassis stiffer, so that way if it actually high-sided, or not high-sided, but almost like door impacted, it's just something to keep it way more stable.
It's not going to fold.
Because it attaches the whole cage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm excited to see this car. I'm super stoked that it's actually coming here for the Purist Group is doing their
Yep,
toy
uh-huh,
drive on
yeah.
December 9th. And that's really cool in Southern California
It's
here.
actually really cool. I mean, not a lot of people understand this car, but it is one of those legendary Japanese supercars that I was a kid just gawing about,
And this is probably the only time you're going to see it in the U.S. before it
will
goes
be.
back, huh? Yeah.
So if you want to see it,
which is like,
that's the
yeah.
only spot you'll ever
So-
see this car.
Huge thanks to the Purist Group,
Yeah.
Gary Castillo from Design Craft,
Sean Lee.
Sean Lee, the guys
Yeah.
at Car Code. Thank you so much for bringing this. And I don't know, I need a refill.
Oh. Yeah, me too. Cheers.
Bing. No.